Hello again, and welcome to another Practica Tango Tips. In our last video, we talked about how we can use our thoracic spinal movement to invite our partner to either do a forward step or a back step. And we can do this because we've been working on our Contrabody movement for the past, 6 or 7 months now. And as a quick reminder, what we're talking about is how our opposite leg and opposite shoulder will go forward in the same direction. And we can use this knowledge to invite her leg to go forward, backwards, or to the side without actually having to do a weight shift. For those of you who are studying open embrace and are working on your 8-count basic, I believe that you will find using this technique of Contrabody is going to be a much easier way of asking her to do that first forward step than if you simply ask her to just fall forward into the step. In our last video, we took the simplest scenario. That is, you and your partner are simply dancing in line and parallel foot. Basically, a simple tango walk. Now, you may have other questions after that, such as, well, what happens when you're outside partner? Or, what happens when you're in a cross system? Before we can answer those questions, we want to give you another tool you can use to help you study any type of figure or any type of position you and your partner might be in. In today's video, we're going to call it three-legged walking. When you start your tango journey and start working with a partner, you may find it difficult to keep your balance as a couple. Why is that? Well, when you're starting tango in the beginning, you and your partner are usually in lockstep with each other. And that is, when one person moves, the other moves as well. Let's take a look at a video that I've slowed down a lot to see what happens when you move in lockstep with your partner. In this slowed down video, both Sean and I are only on 1 foot each mid-stride. That is, as a couple, we only have 2 feet on the ground while 2 feet are in the air. Our weights can also shift from side to side instead of remaining centered as we travel. Walking like this can be unstable. There are ways to mitigate these problems with keeping your balance as a couple. One, of course, is using grounding, which is something we've talked about before, and grounding will help keep your weight down so that you have more contact with the floor. Another is what we call the three-legged walk. Imagine you and your partner as being a cat. Demonstrating how a cat walks today is Adriana's cat, Tiger. Note how Tiger only raises 1 paw at a time as she moves, leaving 3 feet on the ground. This gives her excellent stability. We can emulate her stability with her own three-legged walk. I'll demonstrate how we do this with Alex dancing the woman's role while I dance the man's role. This 3-part process is pretty straightforward. First, I invite Alex to extend his leg. Then, when I feel he's stable, I'll extend my leg. Finally, we transfer our weight together. We then repeat the process. In this way, we have 3 of our 4 feet on the ground, giving us better stability. This technique also ensures the man won't step on her foot since it has already moved out of the way. So the last thing we need to add to this technique is the timing of our invitation. We talked before about how we can break or step down into its different elements. We have an extension, we have a weight transfer, and then we have our closing as well. We've also talked before about how our extension is the end of that step. Because after my foot is here, I need to know, what do I do next? He could ask me to go here. He could ask me to come back. He could ask ask me to pivot and go to the side, whatever. I just know that at this point, this is the point where I am looking for that invitation to go into the next step or to the next movement.
Let's take a look again at the previous clip at how I invite Alex to continue walking backwards. Here's the invitation for the leg extension. Transferring my own weight is his invitation to transfer his weight. I've also mentioned before how the closing is the beginning of the next step. So now I invite Alex to extend his leg. Review this clip, slowing down if needed, to see when I do the other invitations.
If you add the three-legged walk as an additional tool to your Tango toolbox, I think you'll find some additional benefits as well. As we talked about before, you'll be able to keep your balance as a couple much better. Secondly, you're going to be able to deconstruct a figure much more easily because you'll learn how to invite your partner to do a movement or an extension, but you don't have to move yourself. So you can slow down those figures, slow down that YouTube video, and study that movement better and be able to recreate that movement more easily. Third, you'll be able to sense the time in between the beats much better. In other words, the time will stretch out for you. And lastly, and just as importantly, you'll be able to learn how to communicate with your partner much better. You'll be able to develop their skills of kinesthetics, not just within yourself, but also within her. That's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.